Yo guys, what's up? This is a game between two top players, the number 1 and number 2 on the ELO rankings right now in Warcraft 3 competitive scene. It's Happy versus Lynn. I'm going to be casting this game. This is another series that was just played, and even though it only happened like a day or 2 ago, it's been already recommended to me to cast it and to watch it probably about 10 times already via Discord and Twitch and everything. So very popular series. Let's check it out. It's a best of 5, so it's a total of 5 games that we'll be watching. This is game number 1. Either this or future uploads will be further games between them. And I got one really cool feedback on one of my YouTube videos that said, would you be able to talk more about what the players are actually doing? As in, like, in greater detail. Because I tend to go on tangents and I'll tell some stories and some history of each player. And while I think that's interesting too, I guess I haven't done one of these in a while where I talk more in a granular way about what each player is doing, the little things they're doing. So, let's begin. It's the Orc versus Undead matchup that comes down a lot to creeping and getting as many of the creeps on the map as possible. And players will be making a choice either to have hero assassination heroes, like Death Knight and Lich, or to have more unit control heroes. So when we look at heroes that Orc can make, if they're going for like the real strong late game scaling hero combination, that's Blade Master, Shadow Hunter, and then as a third hero, Torrent Chieftain. This gives you everything: damage and tankiness, heal, 2 kinds of lockdown, and movement speed. It's a very strong hero combination. If you start with a Blade Master, you would be opening up with some grunts or headhunters to creep your Blade Master up, and you'll be looking for items that empower his abilities. So getting bonus agility, bonus strength, bonus damage and attack speed and armor are all really useful. The Farseer is a different type of playstyle that the Orc can utilize. Farseer gives you the most amount of vision, as he can control 3 separate entities that go into different directions of the map: Feral Spirit level 1, Spirit Wolf level 2, and the Farseer himself. By doing so, he sees any place the Undead might go to onto the map. He has a lot of vision of the map right now. It also helps that you get 2 free human units via these summonables, so that you can sponsor a fast tech without any barracks at all. Going straight to higher tier units can be risky because an opponent could rush you, but the 2 wolves actually help surprisingly much, even against non-stop enemy unit production. As for Happy's side, he's starting off with some creeps on his own side, immediately being harassed by Lynn's Feral Spirits. He even burns a Death Coil on a Feral Spirit, giving him 20 bonus experience points for the cost of 75 mana. This is a large price to pay in terms of mana. As you can tell, mana regeneration for heroes is pretty small at level 1. It goes up as heroes level up. But he's really looking to get as much XP as possible. Creeps will always be there and can eventually be killed, but wolves are ephemeral, so any that you can get now is bonus XP in the pocket. He doesn't always do this, so I feel like Happy might be making a judgment call that creeps that are small on this map are quite limited. And I would agree. We're playing on Hammerfell here, and there aren't that many... Sorry for the pause for a second. There aren't that many creeps on this map. And most of the green creeps that are on this map are further away from his own base. So it can be a little harder to find enough creeps to get level 2. Here he's doing something quite risky. He's taking loads of damage on the Death Knight just to finish that level 4 turtle. And the blocks by Lynn are pretty good. That's going to be a dead Death Knight that is... No, he runs away with 9 HP. With 9 HP. That was such a high risk, medium reward maneuver by Happy. To just straight up under heavy duress force down that turtle level 4, as that's one of the nearest green creeps that he can find. Take a look at the map. Green circles are really easy creep camps. So there really aren't that many. There's the one in front of your base, and then everything else is orange, which means medium difficulty. So he could either go for this green or this, and he did both. And then, oh my god. He took a lot of damage there, but he made it and he didn't die. That's what matters. Did lose a ghoul. Meanwhile, Lynn has gone for double barracks. This is really interesting, because he did a fast tech with no barracks, which was scouted. And then he went for double barracks. I fully expected to see double bestiary here. Why? That's what he's been doing the last weeks, if not months. Every game, Farseer Shadow into double bestiary. Let's see what Happy knows. Oh wait, he never scouted his base at all. Okay. How do you squeeze extra efficiency into your play at high level? You start cutting corners. How do flightless birds evolve on Madagascar? Don't say because God willed it. It's because there was no reason for them to fly anymore. They were able to save biological energy by evolving away the need to have flight. And so more energy could go to other things. So, what did Happy evolve away? Scouting. By not sending an acolyte, by not making an extra acolyte and scouting, he saves a little bit of gold, a little bit of timings, and he can do other things slightly more efficiently. After all, the last 20 times he faced Lynn, it was always double bestiary mass wyverns. So he cuts the scout and is gonna get punished because he's been making blind gargoyle into destroyers with armor upgrades for carapace. Yeah, he's got it. He's got a gargoyle. Oh man. Never have I seen Happy get punished like this. Happy is the guy, right? Rank 1 elo in the world. He always scouts. He doesn't need to corner cut like this. But Lynn, since Lynn won the previous series after losing many series against Happy, has finally earned the right to fool him. Could you fool Happy as a low-level player? No, because he's just gonna scout, right? Like, he knows he's gonna win against low-level players anyway, but he is going to scout because all he could lose to is surprise. Only Lynn earned the right for him to corner cut here. And so he's gonna have a gargoyle that gets hard countered by headhunters. He picks up an Orb of Corruption. He's got his Lich, a couple of ghouls, gets Ghoul Frenzy, Destroyer upgrade, and he doesn't even know what he's up against. Now that's not a guaranteed victory, to be sure. Lynn takes a really large camp from the side of the map of Happy. Normally, when Happy knows it's headhunters, he does some Coil Nova hunting. DK3 and Lich 2 would love to come in here and Coil Nova some headhunters. But he's not doing that now because he's expecting that 4 wyverns are flying around instead of 7 headhunters without upgrade. And he's gonna miss the window because Berserker upgrade just finished. That gives them 100 bonus health. They're not so easy to Coil Nova anymore. He picked up an Alchemist! Oh, this is a surprise, but he doesn't show the surprise. He immediately goes for a Coil Nova on a headhunter, focuses another one. There's even Acid Bomb, so all these Berserkers have -7 armor, which means 35% damage amp. And then he turns on Berserker active, which is another 40% bonus damage taken. Now what I don't know is if those are additive or multiplicative. Is it 30%, 35 plus 40% is 75% amp? Or is it multiplicative, which would be more like 80%? It's pretty interesting. The TC comes out. We're gonna have Kodo with drums coming out. We've got drums upgrade. No Kodo or Raider yet. Oh, there it is. The Kodo went around the backside. So how does he play? No upgrades for ghouls yet. We must hope for him no upgrades for destroyers yet. Because that wouldn't be worth it. So, a super mind game by Lynn. You know, I talked about this a couple of days ago on stream. I said, after you establish the ironclad certainty of Farseer Shadow, Farseer Harass equals Wyvern, you can start mixing in new builds that aren't Wyverns to prey upon the predilections of your opponent. I predicted this a few weeks ago, but that's why Lynn is the top player and able to win and has done many world championships. Very mischievous player, devious. Lynn went straight to 51 population. Is he going to suicide a worker to get back some upkeep, to alleviate some upkeep pressure or not? He's gonna lose units already. So normally, instead of Alchemist, you would want to have Silence third from the Dark Ranger. Much more useful than Acid Bomb. Though Acid Bomb isn't bad, but stopping the TC from getting preferential war stamps with Silence is usually quite valuable. Now he can stamp anytime he wants. Many ghouls are dying. This is not good for Happy. He's down to what? 32 pop against 45. This is easy mode for Lynn. None of his heroes are hurt. He still has his greater healing. He's got double pity up to fatality on TC. And he still has a heal scroll and both charges of healing ward. Super easy mode for him. Making a raider now. Some more headhunters are coming in. DK got war stamped. He felt forced to use Invul Potion to squeeze away from the Hex potential from Shadow. Greater Healing Pot has been fed over to TC. TC does have -7 armor. 22% amp. Drinks the heal pot after dropping Petty up to Vitality. Which makes it much more effective than just 500 health. Essentially, that Greater Healing Pot gave him like 650 health. Instead of 500 because he dropped the Petty ups. Any ghoul upgrades yet? I think he can't, right? Oh, he does have one attack upgrade. Because usually, if you're like in a bad game state, you start cutting things off, like future upgrades to try and end it earlier. Because you wouldn't be happy with your scaling with an Alchemist third compared to a Dark Ranger. So I didn't expect to see upgrades. He's taking whatever camps he can. Happy is. Must be very disappointed to see that this camp was gone. Lynn can just go to 60 pop and fight. Instead, he's staying at 50 under 60, preparing 50 under 70 population, so that he can go over with a lot of pop. He TPs out of safety, so that he's not in a bad pos. He felt this coming. This is a very high level TP. He had no vision of the opponent and decided to TP because he knew there's a camp next to his base where he'll find Happy. This is a very, very high level town portal by Lynn. Most people only ever reactively TP to save themselves or their base. This is a repositioning town portal after getting the final creep cap on the top of the map that matters, the final orange camp. Then coming back for his own orange camp, estimating that roughly right about now, Funk Soul Brother Happy is going to be there to take the camp. And he fights for it. And it also prevents him from getting Frost Nova acid bombed on his entire cluster of army. There is still one healing ward. I think you don't use that in combat. Any invul potion? Okay, he can kill any hero he wants now. Oh, he goes for the destroyer. Ensnare lasts 3 times as long on units over heroes, so he's getting the guaranteed destroyer kill. And now Hex has value. Body blocks, trying to get a hero here. Is there a war stamp yet? Not yet. There is a Hex. You can definitely kill the Death Knight with the Hex. And that's it. That should be GG. Very nicely done. That's game 1. Let's go to game 2. It's game number 2 between Happy and Lynn. Let me make a bold prediction. In game number 1, Happy did not use an Acolyte Scout to see what Lynn was doing during the entire startup of the game. And then he got surprised making a gargoyle for absolutely no reason against mass headhunters. My prediction is this time he's going to scout for what Lynn is doing. I know it's a bold prediction. Scouting in RTS games, it's very surprising, but I think it's going to happen. And we can already see he's got that 6th Acolyte queued up. I revealed only Happy's vision in the last game, and we could see that the enemy base was not scouted. This time, he's sure to make a different approach. As for Lynn, will he do... Now Happy doesn't know, right? You know, it's a wonderful feeling as a competitor when the opponent doesn't know what you're gonna do. As opposed to them certainly knowing what you're gonna do. The same song and dance as always, you just have to try and do it well. And so Lynn has been building a double bestiary Farseer Shadow mass wyvern build for the past couple of weeks or months, and then suddenly sucker punched Happy just as Happy dropped his guard and chose not to scout, going for the double barracks. And the best thing is, the wyvern and double racks build that Lynn has been playing both start out the same. They both start with a 17-18 pop fast tech, 17 in fact, right? And then the double barracks comes out in about, I don't know, the 2-minute 20 mark of the game or so. We're at 2 minutes now. With that second burrow, this is his double bestiary opening, right? But he could still go double barracks at the 2:30 mark or so. So the Acolyte comes in, gets chased off by the Wolf. And now, wouldn't Happy want to recheck the base with the Acolyte? Is he just going to keep running away and losing? You can tell that this Wolf is being microed. Without micro, this Wolf gets far fewer attacks. He's cancelling the backswing and immediately running. So Lynn is playing the vision game. Acolyte circles back in, tries to get the vision, and will die to the next bite. But he did not see any double barracks. And generally that double barracks is in front of the double burrow. But I'm just saying, there could be one here and one here. He wouldn't have seen it. Or it could be two here. But most likely, Happy has a solid idea that this time it's not double racks. And this time it is actually going to be wyverns. Now, being 95% sure might not be good enough for him anymore. Because he was 99% sure that it was going to be wyverns last game. And he made a gargoyle and he paid for it. He just had a bad third hero in particular. The Alchemist was not good for him to have. So I think he's going to scout again. Yeah, there we go. Straight up. Not like some decaying skeleton, half hurt, might die to 2 Farseer hits. No. He sent a full duration, full HP skeleton to scout. And now he's certain there is no double racks coming. Nice attempt by Lynn to steal the creep. Kills one ghoul again. The creeps are helping quite a bit here. A ghoul kill is a very nice result for a hero player that did not make any units. Okay, Happy got his own creep. Not like that was stolen.
A player's forces are under attack.
And Happy got a lot of creeps here. He's level 2.6. Northern Isles, by the way, is Happy's favorite map. He likes the amount of creep options that there are on this map. He likes taking control of the very important middle 2 camps. The marketplace and the goblin shop. They drop phenomenal items. And they're difficult to take for an orc player when Undead is sharking around with Coil Nova, DK Lich. Big goal for Happy is to get DK level 3. And he's doing so. He's forcing the creeps while the Farseer is here. Farseer trying to get as much damage as he can on the Death Knight, on skeletons, whatever he can get his hands on. And going for a cheeky steal on creeps if he can. It's only 25 damage or so, 24 on the Farseer. So it's not easy to last hit against someone that has 100 damage with a single salvo of hits. But sometimes you can get lucky with the timing. Double Bestiary, instant tier 3, Shadow, no Voodoo Lounge to save gold and wood, to have even more wyverns. So long as his Farseer doesn't get hit, he doesn't need the Voodoo Lounge yet. And there's the first wyvern. No Warmill upgrades yet. First wyvern coming, second wyvern. The build order is very clean. There's not much resources left for anything. And then, after the first 2 wyverns, that's when he makes the shop. Clean build order. So what does Happy know? He's sending another skeleton. Look at the scouting. Sees the tier 3, sees the bestiary. Now, this might still be raiders. I'm just saying. It might be raiders in tier 3. I don't think it's very good. Farseer shot. Oh, he did the Overseer cheese. He hexes it and then he attacks it. And because the Overseer is a sheep while he gets hexed, he's scared from anything that attacks him. So he's essentially border collieing the Null Overseer all the way back here. Come around! Come around! So with the hex, he chases the Overseer back to base, so he cannot even get coil stolen. Very cool. Very, very, very cool. Otherwise, had he tried to creep it in place, DK could come in and coil it. Greater mana potion from the Ogre level 5. Meanwhile, Heal Ward is being utilized. He found this from sniping the Troll level 6 and leaving the rest. I call that eating the cheese off the bread. It's a very Dutch metaphor, but it is actually a real Dutch metaphor where one person will tell another. So for instance, you'll tell your friend, jij laat je het kaas toch niet van het brood eten? Which means surely you're not the type of person that would let someone else eat the cheese, the best part, right off of your bread, the worst part. You wouldn't let someone eat the cheese off your bread, would you? And apparently Lynn did let Happy eat the cheese off his bread. He gets the bread crust. Essentially, the over-crusted pizza crust that someone else threw away because they're watching their carbs and they're actually gluten intolerant, but they really like pizza and were overcome with a craving. Yeah, Lynn is eating that crust right now. Happy's crust. But of course, there's a lot of cheese on the map, and it's not only bread and crust. So now he's getting a full camp here. Happy is taking a very large creep camp that is actually not that easy to get, especially considering he doesn't have Orb of Corruption yet. So no damage amp here, and that Ogre Mage does get killed by Happy. That's going to be a coil on the Bat Rider, but that's really funny. Is he going to lose Lich for this? Oh my god. Oh no, he's gonna try to kill the Bat Rider, but the Bat Rider's chasing the Gargoyles. Run away, Gargoyles. So what happened is he wanted to coil Nova the Bat Rider to instantly kill it, but you know what happened? This cheeky Magnetor Reaver is cheese that fights back. He's like, how would you like it if this Camembert back in your own face? And he threw an icy stunning spell that stunned the Lich right as he was about to Nova, so the Bat Rider stays alive. So now suddenly Happy is panicking because the Bat Rider's still alive. So now he has to micro his guards back. Had the Bat been dead, he would have used his guards against the Wyverns. And he wasted a coil on the Bat and it didn't do anything yet. So now suddenly his Lich is under threat from Hex Focus Fire. Now he's wasting coil after coil after coil because, and it really comes down to the fact that he's taking a very large camp with very little. Like, that almost feels like a desperation play. And oh my god, I can't believe it. He rebought the Lich from the tavern. What? This does not feel like peak Happy. But Lynn often makes people feel that way. Lynn makes people feel this way a lot. I don't even think it's worth rebuying Lich level 2 from the tavern with no mana when you don't even have the right to fight. Like, and then run right back in against 6 Wyverns with 2 ghouls and a statue. And that doesn't feel right. Yeah, that's just going to be a super easy 2-0 for Lynn here. And I do want to say, you can always focus on one player's success or the other player's failure. Nobody makes Happy look like this, except Lynn, right? Lynn has this effect on people because with that genius game 1, he actually got into Happy's head. I'm sure of it. And that's why everything now feels sussy. The quality of Happy's decision making has gone down. I've never seen him try this camp with 2 Gargs and a Ghoul. It takes so long. And Lynn happened to run into him, you know? You know, sometimes also when people have like high latency, I'm not saying that's the case here, but I've seen discussions in online forums where people say, oh my god, this guy was playing so bad. Faker, he was playing so bad in League of Legends, right? And then they say like, oh well, you know, he has wrist pains. And then the other player will say, someone that doesn't know what pro gaming is like at all, but only watches from the outside, right? He'll be like, oh, he has wrist pain, but does he also have a problem with his head? Because just because you have wrist pain doesn't mean your decisions need to be worse, right? But the decisions were worse too. If it's just your wrist. And I'm thinking, come on. Latency, wrist problems, everything affects your decision making because they affect your mood. And we're emotional creatures and the game is half mental. Right? So if someone got into your head, absolutely everything is affected. Reaction speed, confidence, decision making, micro, etc. Even latency, which should only affect your micro, is also going to affect decision making because you're less confident that you're going to be coming out ahead in a certain engagement. So where is Lynn going from this? He managed to put down a tiny Great Hall with his Farseer, choosing not to make a Tarn Chieftain, choosing to go, and I think he probably saved up about 1800 gold or so, right? And then he bought tiny Great Hall, went over 50 pop with a Wyvern and a Raider, and that's just how large his advantage was, because he got that Creep Jack, he got that kill, double kill on Lich in fact. So he knows that he can get away with an expansion like this, and it's just going to solidify his lead and put him ahead even more. Otherwise, Usually he doesn't get the tiny great hole, and instead he just goes over 50 pop straight to 70. There's still that saving up period, but part of the finances would not be divvied up to make a tiny great hole.
Forces are under attack.
But now he's removing all that. With that great hole, he can buy as many heal scrolls as he likes, as he has slots for. He currently has 2, which is about as much as the shop ever offers. Meanwhile, Happy, not even Lich level 3. Alright. Picks up a pretty mediocre Helm of Valor. Strength and Agility on Alchemist is pretty neat. Got double Ring of Regeneration on Death Knight. And a Ring of Protection. Huge army coming in with Raiders and Wyverns. 2 1 attack upgrades. And one armor upgrade. Big triple damage nuke on the Wyvern that takes an annoyingly long time to kill. Then he just hexes. Oh wow, nice invulnerability block on the Chain Lightning that has a small impact damage delay. Really good damage here. As the Wyverns are still taking a lot of damage, I must say, from Frost Nova, Acid Bomb and Focus Fire. But the unit count is so much higher for Lynn. And while normally I might say, hey, the game is still open, because of the bonus income from the expansion, even such considerable Wyvern losses are not enough to guarantee the good outcome for Happy. Because he's killing a lot of Wyverns. If there was no expansion, there wouldn't be as many new units coming in. We'd be looking at 40 population Lynn, 35 against 25, and that's not insurmountable. But now it is. That's insurmountable. That's DK dead. Nice job. 2-0 for Lynn. The moment Happy finds the G key on his keyboard. Rebuys the DK to do what? GG. 2-0 in the best of 5. Lynn is inside his head. Yeah, uncharacteristically poor play by Happy. I like to think Lynn made him shocked. Oftentimes, it is the first game in a series that sets the mental pace. That's not usually the case for me. In very many series that I won in my tournament life, I lost the first map and it didn't bother me. It fired me up. But I've seen many Korean StarCraft players say that they knew if they're going to win the series after the first map, that it's all about the first map. I think it's more true even in StarCraft than in Warcraft, but overall you can set the pace with that. I don't think it's by any means a strength to lose the first map. That's where you can come out and set the pace and come out with a surprising strategy that makes your opponent quiver in their boots the next time you play. GG. Let's go to game number 3.